There was once a boy named Arin who lived in a small town near the sea. The town was quiet and peaceful. White birds flew over the water, and fishing boats moved slowly across the waves. Children played in the streets, and everyone knew each other's name. But Harry was different. He did not remember his own name. He did not remember his parents. He did not remember where he came from. When he was 7 years old, there had been an accident. No one in town knew exactly what happened. Some said he was found near the forest road after a heavy storm. Some said he had fallen from a cart. Others said he had been traveling with someone who disappeared. All anyone knew was this: when Harry woke up, he had no memory of his life before that day. The village doctor had checked him many times. His body is fine, the doctor said, but his mind is protecting itself. Sometimes memory hides when pain is too great. So the villagers took care of him. Old Mara, who baked bread every morning, gave him warm loaves to eat. Fisherman Thomas let him help carry nets. The school teacher tried to teach him letters and numbers. Harry learned quickly, but whenever someone asked, "Do you remember anything?" he would shake his head. There was nothing. No face, no voice, no home. Years passed. Harry grew taller. His hair became darker and the sun. He worked hard and smiled often. He was kind and polite. Everyone liked him. But inside, he always felt something missing. At night, when the wind touched his window, he would lie awake and stare at the ceiling. Sometimes it felt like someone was calling him far away. Sometimes he dreamt of a small wooden house and the smell of rain. But when he woke up, the dream faded like smoke. He felt empty in a way he could not explain. "Do you wish to remember?" the teacher once asked him gently. Harry thought for a long time before answering. "Yes," he said, "even if it hurts." The teacher nodded. Memory often returns when the heart is ready. Harry did not understand what that meant. One cold autumn afternoon, the sky was grey and heavy. The wind blew hard through the streets. Most people stayed inside. Harry was helping Thomas fix a broken fishing net near the dock. Suddenly he heard a faint cry. "Help!" It was weak and shaking, almost lost in the wind. Harry stood up quickly. "Do you hear that?" Thomas looked up. "Hear what?" "Someone calling." Without waiting, Harry ran toward the sound. He followed it down a narrow street near the old part of town. The houses there were small and worn. The stones on the ground were uneven. The wind grew colder. Again he heard it. "Please help!" He saw an old woman sitting on the ground beside a broken cart. The cart had fallen to one side. Apples were scattered everywhere. The woman's hands were trembling. She looked pale and weak. Harry rushed to her. "Are you hurt?" he asked softly. The woman looked up at him. Her eyes were cloudy but kind. I cannot stand," she said. "My leg, it hurts." Without thinking, Harry knelt beside her, gently checked her leg, and the way the village doctor had once shown him. It was not broken, but it was badly twisted. "It will be okay," he said calmly. "I will help you." He picked up the apple first, placing them back in the cart. Then he carefully helped the woman sit upright. She winced in pain. "I am sorry," Arin said. "It's not your fault," she whispered. The wind was getting stronger. The sky looked darker. "Where do you live?" Arin asked. "Near the hill, small blue door." Arin nodded. He knew that house. Slowly and carefully, he lifted the woman in his arms. She was very light, like dry leaves. He carried her through the cold street, step by step. The wind pushed against him, but it did not stop. When they reached her house, He opened the blue door and carried her inside. The house was small but clean. It smelled of herbs and old wood. He laid her gently on the bed. "I will get the doctor," he said. The woman caught his hand. "Wait," she said softly. "Stay for a moment." Arin hesitated, then sat beside her. The woman studied his face closely. Her eyes became sharper somehow, more alive. "You are a good boy," she said. Arin gave a small smile. "Anyone would have helped." She shook her head. Not everyone stopped in the storm. He felt shy and looked at the floor. "What is your name?" she asked. Arin froze. The question always felt heavy. "I don't know," he said quietly. "I lost my memory when I was little." The woman did not look surprised. "How long ago?" "Many years." She nodded slowly. "And you wish to remember?" "Yes," he answered, his voice almost breaking very much. The old woman reached out and touched his forehead gently. Her hand was warm. "Sometimes," she said softly, "memory hides behind fear, and fear hides behind pain. When the heart does something brave and kind, the door opens a little." Ari did not fully understand her words, but something about them felt important. Suddenly, a sharp pain filled his head. He gasped. Image flashed before his eye. Rain, a dark road, a horse running too fast, a woman's voice shouting his name. He fell to his knees. The woman's voice sounded far away. "It is all right. Do not be afraid." More images came. He saw himself sitting inside a cart. He was smaller, maybe 6 years old. A woman with a long brown hair sat beside him. She was smiling. "Hold my hand, Arin," she said. Arin, that was his name. The memory shocked him. The storm had grown strong that day. The horse had become frightening. The cart had moved too fast on the wet road. Then there was a loud crash. He remembered falling. He remembered hitting his head. He remembered his mother's hand slipping from his. "Arin!" she had screamed. He remembered lying on the ground, rain hitting his face. He remembered trying to stand but feeling dizzy. He remembered walking alone into the forest, confused and scared. Then nothing. The image stopped. Ari was breathing hard. Tears ran down his face. "My name," he whispered. "My name is Ari." The old woman smiled softly. "Yes." He looked at her in shock. "How do you know?" She did not answer directly. "Memory returns when the heart is ready," she said gently. More memories came, but slower now. He remembered the small wooden house from his dreams. He stood near the edge of another village, far from this one. He remembered his mother singing while cooking. He remembered her laughter. He remembered that she had been taking him to see his uncle the day of the storm. He remembered that she never woke up after the accident. The villagers must have found him alone and confused. The pain was strong, but it was clear now. It was real. "I left her," he said through tears. "No," the old woman said firmly. "You were a child. You survived. That is not wrong." Ari covered his face with his hand. He felt grief, but he also felt something else. He felt whole. For the first time in years, he knew who he was. He sat there for a long time. The storm outside began to calm. Finally, he looked up at the old woman. "Thank you," he said. She nodded. "Help the doctor," she reminded him. Ari ran to fetch the village doctor. The doctor came quickly and treated the woman's injured leg. It would heal with rest. When everything was done, Ari returned to her house once more. But the house felt different. It was quiet, too quiet. The bed was empty. The window was open, and the window moved the curtain gently. On the table sat a single red apple. Ari searched the small house, but the old woman was gone. He ran outside and looked around. No one had seen her leave. The doctor was confused. "I treated her only minutes ago," he said. "She could not walk." Arin felt a strange calm inside. He picked up the apple from the table. He somehow knew she was not in danger. He somehow knew she had given him something greater than medicine. He never saw her again. Days passed, but Arin's memory did not disappear. It stayed strong. He told the villagers everything he remembered. They listened quietly. Old Mara cried when she heard about his mother. "You were always meant for more," she said softly. Arin decided to visit the place from his memories. Thomas traveled with him by boat and cart until they reached the small village near the forest road. And there it was, the wooden house. It was older now and quiet. No one lived there, but it was real. Arin walked to the door slowly. His heart beat fast. Inside, dust covered the furniture, but he recognized everything: the small table, the corner shelf, the window near the kitchen. He walked to the back room. There on a shelf was a small carved window horse. He picked it up. "I remember," he whispered. Thomas stood behind him, giving him space. Arin did not feel broken anymore. He felt sad. Yes, he missed his mother deeply, but he no longer felt empty. He had a past and he had a future. After that day, Arin returned to his town by the sea, but he was different now. He carried himself with quiet strength. He understood pain, but he also understood kindness. He began helping the doctor more often. He learned about healing herbs and how to treat injuries. He wanted to help others the way he had been helped. Years later, people would say he was the kindest healer they had ever known. Sometimes, when storms came and the wind grew strong, Arin would remember the old woman with the cloudy eyes. He would remember her warm hand on his forehead. He would remember her words. When the heart does something brave and kind, the door opens. And every time he helped someone in need, he felt that door inside him stay open. He never forgot again. And in quiet moments, when the sea was calm and the sky was wide and blue, Arin would hold a red apple in his hand and smile, knowing that the kindness had given him back his name. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and also follow and subscribe for more interesting stories like this. Please stay tuned and watch out for the part 2 of it. God bless you.